Hello and welcome back to my YouTube tutorial. Today we're going to be making some unbelievable guns using only snares. That's a lie. There's going to be multipass involved and a little bit of Serum. But the reason why I wanted to show you this today is because I think a lot of Tearout producers actually do this, but they don't do it the way I do it, which I use multipass and I use all the convolvers and all the frequency shifters that are involved with multipass to get that unbelievable sound. The reason why we're using snares today is because we're going to kind of get halfway there to a gun using snares. So I've got this Ominous snare, shout out Ominous, the sample pack was amazing. The transient of this snare is very similar to what a gun is. First of all, you have the sort of tonal element of the gun right here, and then you have that tail, and when you put this through multipass, through convolvers, through the post-processing chain that I'm going to show you, you can pretty much turn any snare into a Tearout gun, which I mean is fantastic. Right, let's get cracking. So what I'm going to do is open up an instance of Serum, and there is only two things really what we're going to do. We're going to add the snare into the noise oscillator over here, and we're going to get a sub bass going down, and then we're going to merge them all together using multipass. So what I'm going to do is take this snare from Ominous and turn on the noise oscillator right there and drag that in. Did you know you could just drag it in? You could just drag it in. You don't even, you can just drag it in. So right now, we have sawtooth wave, which we're going to change to a sine wave. And what we're going to do is we're going to quickly put that to -3 because we are going to be making a sub bass heavy bass. If there's no sub in your basses, give up now. You're shit. So let's get the levels right. We can probably boost this noise oscillator with the snare on it to maximum. And what we want to do is we want that snare to pitch up and down when we're doing different notes. So what I'm going to do is hit this little keyboard button. It enables pitch tracking. And we're also going to hit the one-shot button as well. Otherwise, the snare's just going to keep on rolling forever. Now you can hear that that snare is pitch tracking to the notes that I'm playing on my QWERTY keyboard. What I'm going to do is just going to switch the pitch up a little bit. Beautiful. That sounds great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to emphasize the transients. The way I've been doing this for years now, and it's the most goated subtractive filter inside Serum. You've already guessed it. It's the bandpass notch. My absolute favorite. It's a low pass. It's a high pass. It's a notch filter. You combine them all together, you get pure sex. Obviously, you're going to have to put the snare through this filter as well. Right, let's get to automating with LFOs. We're going to try and emphasize the transients of this gun. So with LFO 1, when it is all the way up, we want it to be at its peak. That's where the transient is. And as it comes down with a gun, we want it to slowly fade down into the lower frequencies. So what I'm going to do is create a little gun shape like this and smack that on the cutoff. I'm also going to hit envelope mode, otherwise it's just going to not sound like a gun. Let's adjust this a little bit. Give it some drive as well. Should we chuck in a notch filter? Yeah, let's see, why not. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds trash. Well, because we haven't done any post-processing yet. This is where multipass comes in. Multipass by Kilohertz. Amazing! One of the best post-processing plugins that was ever conceived on Earth. So what I'm going to do is quickly put this into a mixer and slap on a multipass. What we're going to try and do is try and make this gun sound as fat as possible. There's one thing I've forgotten. You need to do some pitch automation as well with Serum. So what I'm going to do is going to do a different LFO. I mean, you could use LFO 1, but we're going to use LFO 2 because, well, it's at our disposal. And we are going to go to the matrix and we're going to drag that on into the matrix and then go into global master tuning. You probably didn't see the menu there, but it is in global master tuning over here in destination. We want to set this to unipolar, otherwise it's just going to go crazy downward pitch. We don't want that. And we also want this in some kind of gun shape and envelope mode on. We could probably add a little bit of distortion as well, just to get that thing up. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Let's get on to multipass. If you saw my previous tutorial, you already know how goated this shit is. We're going to be doing something very similar to the previous video. We are going to definitely do multipass inception. We can add multipasses inside multipass. Over here is the post effects, so it's going to be applying to all of the frequencies in our spectrum of the sound. Over here, we can go hit browse and we can use NOTT. This is just favorited, but you can find it in the dynamics folder like this. Hit that little kilohertz heart button so you don't lose it ever again. Let's get on to one of the best inventions ever, the convolver. It's basically taking an impulse response, which is someone clapping in a cave and recording that clap and then going, let's put it into a convolver, and now the cave is emulated. But if you're listening to Tearout, all these guns have convolvers on it. It is super important. If you don't have this shit, you need to get it. You need to get it. Cool. I'm going to go over here and go into impulse responses and real, because we're fucking real. Let's go and choose a random one. Let's choose this one. Cool, that sounds too much like a reverb. We want to shorten that and give it a little bit of a fade. Take it to the barbers. Beautiful. Now, this tone knob is going to basically increase the brightness of the process output by taking away the lows and bringing in the highs. Just makes things extra crispy. Have a go. Now you can already hear the gun sound. It's literally that simple. Let's add some distortion into our sound. Where'd it go? There you go. Cool, we need it to be absurdly loud so we can make everyone have tinnitus or tinnitus at the rave, whatever. So what I'm going to do over here is add a shaper. This is basically a wave shaper. It's like draw your own distortion. I'm going to pop a little thing over here. Oh my god, that's too loud. Beautiful. Let's add a little bit more distortion over here on this band of frequencies. Multipass basically splits the frequencies up. The reason why this is so good is because we don't want to be processing the sub bass, or we want to be processing it differently. It just allows for a cleaner sound. And I believe that synths can have an organic sub bass. One of the biggest questions my students ask me is like, do I need a separate sub? If it's fine in the synth, you don't need to. I've been doing it for years and no one's said anything. There are going to be other people who say you need a separate sub every time, but you don't. So yeah. We can also stretch this convolver to get some different tones out of it. Oh. Beautiful. I'm just going to bring the gain up on this to make it loud. Now we already sound like Nimda. You can probably go and tour the world. But we're going to add some few things to make it even more juicy. And then we're going to go back to Serum to see what else we can do. Because last time I checked, there's not only just one snare on Earth. There's bloody millions. So what we're going to do as well is go over and add a convolver to our pre-effects. Pre-effects is basically where we're going to be adding post-processing effects to the entire sound before it gets split up. So over here I can go over to phaser. This is unbelievable. It basically acts like a disperser and it emphasizes the transients and also kind of gives it this gooey sort of sound. Listen to this. The reason why this works is because it delays the top frequencies of the spectrum over here all the way down to the bottom. Kind of like what a disperser does. Let's go over here and adjust this. It's a bit too loud. Another thing you can do is you can frequency shift these frequencies over here and you can get even more tones out of it. Listen to this. If I go over here and turn this down by 215 hertz, I just pluck that out midair. Will it sound good? Not really. Do you know what? As a gun goes, no one's going to complain. But let's go back to Serum now. And let's see what we can do. Maybe we can change this pitch knob over here. If you're going lower down in pitch with these snares, you might find that the snare just lasts a little bit too long. This is where LFO3 can come in handy, where you can make another gun shape like this and basically hit envelope. And now that tail isn't so long and so horrible at the end. Oh yeah, that's what we like to see. What else can we do? Let's go and change the snare up. Oh, let's go and change the snare up. What other snares do we have in here? Now we've kind of got this little rack going. You can pretty much chuck in anything. Let's try a chime snare. Hello, chime. I went to your wedding. Whoa. Okay, that sounds pretty much the same. What about this one? I reckon we could get a snare that has a little bit more character to it. Ooh. What about this mode step one? Let's have a listen to this. I guess what I'm doing here is I'm kind of doing a little bit too much on this filter. There we go. Just allowing a little bit more frequencies in the mid-range to come through, and we can get some different tones like that. There we go. See, these snares that have that sort of accent, that characteristic, the tonality of these snares, they can really help emphasize different parts about this gun. Let's see if there's another one. Ooh, that one's cool. It's because it's got that little ring to it. I might have to do this real quickly to... So you're noticing right now, we are getting a little bit of low-end stereo frequencies. We don't particularly like that. So I'm going to go over here into Slice EQ and remove the low end on those frequencies like that. Yeah, buddy. Let's see what happens if I bring this frequency shifter back down. Shut the fuck up. Beautiful, beautiful work. Let's have a look at the frequency response. So when we are doing our guns, we want to make sure that our frequency response of the gun is pretty much filling up every single frequency. That's how you get things to sound big. I'm going to quickly go over to my default preset because I'm an old boomer. You can see up here that the treble is kind of missing from this gun. Let's just boost it. Honestly, some people tell you not to do this, but if it works, right? Yeah. Oh, so good. We love this one. I'm going to emphasize some of these transients, not transients, these tones, by boosting some of these frequencies. Listen to this. What would you do without me, right? What would you do without me? Have an experiment round. There are so many goddamn bloody snares. And now you can turn any snare into a gun. So, if you can't be asked to make your own guns, come on. Well, I mean, you could help me out as well. So, I've just released Guns to the Unholy 4, and now I've also released Guns to the Unholy 4.5. It's pretty much Serum into multipass, and these guns are ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I probably shouldn't even be giving them out, but I want you to know how to make really good Tearout, mainly because it's a load of fun and you can impress your girlfriends if you have any. Who am I kidding? You Tearout producers, you have no girlfriends. For example, one that I've been really loving so far is YMV 4.5. I've spelled it wrong on purpose so they can't bloody sue, but we don't know who it is anyway. It's a pretty similar sort of setup to what we've been doing. And over here, you can go into multipass and select the preset that coincides with this Serum patch like here. So now we've got Serum YMV 4.5 going into multipasses YMV 4.5, and then you can bang this out. Listen to this. Without the multipass, this is what it sounds like. Shocking. But with the multipass, it sounds unbelievable. There are 93 different presets inside this pack. It's pretty much your one-stop shop if you want to make unbelievably disgusting Tearout. But the greatest thing about this pack that other packs don't do is you can swap and change these Serum patches with these multipass presets interchangeably. It's thousands of different sounds. With this preset right here, I can change it up here and hit this arrow button, and I've instantly got a different gun. Some of them are going to be better than others, but this is what I encourage you to do. Experiment, have loads of fun, be like, damn, that's sick. I didn't even have to do anything. While it's really easy to get some fantastic sounds in this, it's about reverse engineering these presets, having a look at how it was done, what I'm doing, and then replicating it for yourself, because that's how you build up on techniques. How do you stand out? It's through post-processing with different plugins. That is the answer. And I think multipass with Kilohertz is probably the best post-processing unit, just for the flexibility, just for the multi-band processing. It's goated. So if you want to go and grab my pack, it's £30 right now for people who have watched this video. If you buy it, you're basically supporting what I do. You're allowing me to make more. You're allowing me to continue making good music. I appreciate you. I'll be back with more tutorials soon. Other than that, check out Tower and Tempest and buy something, because I like to eat food and drink water and sometimes go on roller coasters. Peace.